Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin. I'm an alcoholic. Good morning, Steve. Take a seat. You'll get to hear this again. I was actually looking for him a few minutes ago. Usually we pray together before I get up here to do this. But that was okay. I took a minute and stopped down the hall and had a moment with God by myself, and try to get ready to tell you a little bit about how it was, what happened, and what it's like today. My sobriety date's January 26, 2007. I got sober here at the Primary Purpose Group. Took me a couple tries. I didn't get it the first time. I've seen people come in here and do that. That wasn't the case with me. So just go back to the beginning where I started, and I was joking around. I was telling everybody, well, we'll be eating early tonight. So I'm not always that talkative. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But I was actually born in a small town in Pennsylvania, probably known more for the Amish people that live there than for me. But it was a good place to start. Childhood wasn't anything traumatic. I mean, I had brothers and a sister, and my parents didn't drink to excess. They did drink from time to time. Seemed like they had fun, and their friends did as well. So it wasn't something that I obsessed about from an early age. Did a lot of outside activities when I was young, played baseball and things like that. Wasn't terrible at it. Thought I was pretty good. Probably thought I was better than I was. But, always was dreaming of bigger and better things, Always kind of wanted to be someplace else. Wasn't really uncomfortable, but I thought that, if I was somewhere else, I'd be doing a lot better. Time that I was, before I was a teenager, I started noticing that, on the ball team and stuff like that other kids were getting bigger, stronger, and I was staying the little small kid. So I started to feel a little bit different at that point. Started realizing that playing in the major leagues wasn't going to be something that I would do. Just by chance, I kind of gravitated to kind of fooling with some ponies and horses later on, and size. My small size was actually a benefit in most cases, and as far as athletics went, the horse did most of the work. Got to school, high school, still extremely small. Kind of gravitated to working on a horse farm. I guess probably about 11th grade. I'd work half a day there and realized that with my size and everything, there was a good chance I could be a jockey. And with my dreaming and things like that, I was probably going to be the best one in the world. Worked hard at it. Parents weren't real thrilled about the idea of me quitting school and going to pursue this career. They seemed to think that it wasn't such a good idea, and I really couldn't figure out why. Graduated school when I was 18. The next day I left for the track. Wound up in Atlantic City. Got a job working there. Kind of had it before. Knew I had it when I got there, and the progression was slow. I started to develop a little bit. Started to figure out a little bit what it was going to take, and about that time when I was at the point where I was about to start my career, I started to grow. So that was one of my first resentments. I thought, man, God, let me make it all the way through high school, like at 95 pounds. And now when it can do me some good, I'm starting to get taller and a little heavier. And so that part of my career was kind of kind of short. I did get to manage to ride a few races at the tracks and stuff, and realized that I wasn't going to be long. If I had things like eating that I was struggling with doing, and it seemed like at the time that my stomach was crying out that I need to find a different profession. I did find out that there was a thing called steeplechase racing, and they would let the guys be a little heavier, and I jumped right in that, and it with the practice that I had growing up and everything, I kind of fit right in there for a period of time. After bouncing off the ground several times, I guess all along I had some fears and anxieties. They never really overwhelmed me until I realized that this was probably something that that I could be successful at, but I could probably also die doing it. It was kind of at that point, I was 21 years old when I was first introduced to alcohol, and it was like I wondered where it had been all my life. It just gave me that ease and comfort that I was struggling to find on my own. And I knew that with this new secret weapon that I had, that everything was going to be fine. And it's funny because right from the very beginning, I would hide it. I didn't want anybody to know how much I was drinking. I didn't want to let them know that I was drinking. I figured if they knew that that's what I was doing, that then there was a good chance I wouldn't be able to do it. And without that, I knew that I couldn't succeed. It just took over my mind, and the one thing that alcohol did for me is that it took away those fears, but it also took away my dreams. I had aspirations to be one of the best riders there were, and before long, I was willing just to get through the day, maybe win a race here and there, and get home to where I could really finish the party. I realized that and early on, I was able to do the bar scene. I did that a bit. I kind of like that. I kind of like to try to be the big shot. That's one of the things I've struggled with, I guess, pretty much all my life. As it progressed, I ended up isolating pretty much. I realized that at these race meets they used to put up a big spread of food, which we were never able to eat much, but there was all the free booze you could drink. Only the riders they tried to stay away from that until after you were done riding. So up to that point, I would sneak it until afterwards. But afterwards, I realized after once or twice of being there with everybody and trying to drink enough and trying not to show everyone that I was intoxicated, I realized that was no fun at all. So what I would do, I'd grab grab a drink, down one, take one in each hand, go jump in a car and head on home. I needed to get out of there before I made a fool of myself or let anybody see who the real me really was. And that's something that I spent the next probably 30 years trying to hide to keep everybody from seeing the real me. But that career didn't last long. It lasted probably less than 5 years. I had some successes. I had some failures. I had some that I made a fool of myself. I got lost during the race. I went off course. I started having these tantrums where if I just got beat or something, I'd make a big emotional outburst. I'd throw my stuff around, and everybody could see that I really wanted to win at all costs. And looking back, it probably wasn't the wisest decision, but anyway, I knew that I I still wanted a lot of things. I wanted material things. I wanted to have a chance at money, and I knew that there were a lot of people that were involved in those sports that had a lot of that. So one winter I got tired of the cold, and I just took off and I headed to New Orleans for the winter, and I thought that maybe that might help if I went there and was able to maybe straighten up a little bit, get a job working for one of the big outfits. I could make some money, move through the ranks, and maybe catch on. Maybe be an assistant trainer or a trainer or something to that aspect. What I did find was a woman that actually had a large stable of horses, and she needed some help. So, I kind of stayed away from the drinking for a while and worked my way into her barn and into her life. It wasn't an overnight success. It took me almost 10 years to talk her into marrying me, but by then I think she knew, she knew that I had a drinking problem. But she was like a lot of women. She figured that maybe marriage would change me. That didn't happen either. We did travel around, and that was good because we moved around a bit. We traveled, hit some different states and both sides of the country, East Coast. We made it to the West Coast a few times, and that was always good because it was exciting going to a new place. I thought, well, maybe it'll be different here. Maybe I can get a handle on this, and I was able to at times to buckle down if I knew that it was necessary. If things were tough, if my back was to the wall, I was able to stop for short periods of time. And in the racehorse business, you really only some people really only work in the morning. I mean, I was probably good from 6 to say 10:30. By then the horses would be galloped, the grooms would be doing their job. I may walk down through and, look over some people's shoulders. They liked it better if I didn't give them too much advice, but, depending on my state of mind, that's kind of how my interactions were. Sometimes I could make it through the morning without drinking, sometimes I couldn't. There were other things involved. It wasn't all alcohol. I tried all different kinds of things and combinations and dosages to try to get this right, where I could function and get from one point to the next. And I realized there was something different than me, but I didn't realize it was a problem because for the most part, the horses got along with me. The people, maybe not so much. But, I had been given a gift, and for so long I didn't even know that that's what it was. I kind of thought it was just, it was something that I did through work or something like that. And it wasn't until I got here and became willing to actually do some work on myself that I began to notice these things. But anyway, we traveled around probably 10 years or so ago, or 10 years or so altogether, and had bits of success, more because of my wife than because of me. We gravitated here to North Carolina, and my wife thought, well, maybe settling down, maybe raising some kids. We didn't want to do that at the track because we'd been moving all the time, and I'm guessing in her heart she really didn't want him to end up like me. Had my daughter, and I thought, man, this is a big point in my life. Maybe she'll help me to get sober. I didn't think that right away. It wasn't until after, the nights crying and all that was just, starting to drive me crazy. I wasn't able to enjoy it. It was something that made me want to drink more to try to quiet that down or to quiet her down. And a few years later, we had a son, and I think before my son was born, I actually came to my first AA meeting. I came. I was actually directed here by an alcoholic, but it was through an outside organization. That. Well, I say organization. It was a psychologist. She studied me. She knew what alcoholics looked like. She knew what drug addicts looked like. She wasn't sure which one I was, but she figured I was one or the other. She sent me here to you guys. I actually started, the first time I went to the Aberdeen building, I met a guy the first night who's probably in this room tonight. I saw him earlier, and he made me feel welcome and actually worked with me for a while. And, I made 1 or 2 meetings a week. I stopped drinking. I listened. I didn't say much. I saw the steps. Took them as best I could by myself. And was able to stay sober for a year, or actually I was able to not drink for a year. And but I was listening, and I heard what you said, and you were saying that if I could do that with 1 or 2 meetings and not drink, that I probably was an alcoholic. So I thanked you very much, and I stepped back out. A year or so later, my son was born, and shortly thereafter, I came back because, one child was bad, 2 children were worse. I couldn't find any peace in my mind. I kind of went from drinking for fun and drinking to calm some anxieties and fears and stuff to drinking in a workshop and not getting any work done. I hung out there. I let my family in the house. I was kind of waiting for the crying to subside before I entered back in, and I was pulling away from everything and everyone that it seemed like I had worked so hard to get. I came back to AA. I thought, well, let me try to do things a little bit different, but I got a sponsor and worked with him. I didn't do a very good 4th and 5th step. After that, I didn't really follow up much. I thought, man, if you make it through the 5th step, you pretty much have it made. Well, that didn't work either. It was probably January of 2007, January 1st, New Year's. My wife made a resolution. She was cleaning house, and I was the first thing that was going. My first initial instinct was, wow, now I can drink like I want. That didn't last even 24 hours because my mind took over, and all the things that I wanted, all the things that were good in my life, everything that I had wanted was gone. The alcohol and the other things that I tried would not calm down the merry-go-round that was going on inside my head. I went back. I tried applying more alcohol and other things for, I think it was probably almost 3 weeks. I was on my own, and every day seemed like it was worse than the one before. I did manage to go to that psychologist counselor, and she just let me know that, she said, you know what to do, you just have to do it. You have to be willing to do what's asked and to do the things that you didn't do the first time. So when I came back, I met the guy that was sponsoring me before, and we talked, and he was willing to give this thing a shot again, and he actually let me know that it wasn't him that did anything wrong the first time. He kind of let me know that the blame all landed in my lap. But I knew that when I came back here, we were still meeting downstairs in the little room up on the end, and when I came back, I was welcomed. I was welcomed as if I hadn't missed a day. It was, I was welcomed back as if I hadn't gone out and got drunk and, done a lot of other things that weren't necessary. So I began to work with a sponsor, and I realized early on that the biggest problem that I had was me. The alcohol and the other things, they were mere symptoms of this disease that I had, and maybe I did jump the gun 5 or 6 years earlier, and maybe I wasn't quite alcoholic then, but maybe not. So, but I ended up working the steps, and I worked them with a sponsor, and I allowed, I went through the book, and I did those things that I was asked to do. I cleaned house. I became part of this home group. I began to be a functioning member of society. Those things that I refused to do before, because before then it was all about me. It was whether I was happy or what made me feel better or feel good. I realized that I created a lot of wreckage in getting to where I am today, and a lot of that was going to have to be cleaned up. More than I imagined. I went through those steps, and I was sober for a while. I began to sponsor other people. And early on, when I'd sponsor someone, it was like I always felt like I was inadequate. Like that I always figured that they'd be better off with someone else. I realized that there were some things that I hadn't cleaned up. So I sat down with my sponsor again, and we started going through those steps again. I started working them a little deeper, and started to try to live those steps and the principles to have a more manageable, meaningful life. I work with some guys. Things today are a lot better. I mean, I still have. I got almost 9 years of sobriety, and like the first couple were pretty good, and then I kind of, it's still a bit of a roller coaster ride. I mean, they've leveled out, but today, this morning, I did my meditations, and I really wasn't expecting to be here speaking in front of you guys tonight. I might have prayed and meditated a little longer, but. I wasn't far, along in the day. I think it was 6 o'clock or 5 after, and I got my first text from someone that, wishing me well, another member of Alcoholics Anonymous, and, then at some point I texted my sponsor and had a few more come in. A couple guys sent me some things that were actually, pretty inspirational. They were things to make me think, and I shared some of those with my sponsor, and we had a little laugh, and it was just the messenger that brought some of those. The one guy might be 2 or 3 weeks out of the colony, and he was sharing something with me that I wish I'd have been sharing with him, but it works that way sometimes. I'm not usually a big talker. I don't really always have the next right thing to say. I mean, I used to think I always did. I used to always want to be the first one to speak because I was always thinking that made me look really smart. Well, I realize the quieter I am, the smarter I look. So, I have those things in my life today. One of the guys that works with me at work that helps me out, he's a lot like me. He, had some successes in his life. He had some failures, and right now he's struggling to get this program. And, when I work with him, I can see, some days, he's happy and right on, and other days, he's maybe a little more, thinking what's up with him, what clouds he still has hanging over his life, and he shares those with me, and we talk about them, and I try to do like my sponsor did with me. I try to let him come up with the solution. I try to maybe put things in his path that he can work on, and if he chooses to. I realized that that when I sat down with my sponsor, I guess about halfway through the book, I realized that he was really grooming me to do the same thing with someone else, and I wrote down a lot of things, and I revert back to my big book because I have a lot of stuff marked down in there, and I learned from him that when I don't have the answer, I can call him, and sometimes he will aim me in the right directions. Lots of times he'll aim me. Sometimes he'll aim me at the book. Sometimes he'll make a little riddle out of it. I never really know what to expect, but I know that he, he'll take my call or at least my text. But I have relationships today where I actually work at them. I actually talked my wife into taking me back. We have a relationship that we work on pretty much on a daily basis. Sometimes, being that we work together, we sometimes have different ideas. And, sometimes I have to stop and think about where, where's she coming from? What is she trying to accomplish with this horse or with the situation? And I'm a lot more giving than I used to be. I tend to be a little more stubborn before, but I'm working on that. I've learned by doing a fourth and fifth step. I learned what my character defects were, and I know what my shortcomings are, and sometimes I have to look at them written down to actually believe that they can all belong to me. But I've had things happen in sobriety that were worse than things that happened to me when I was drinking and when I didn't care so much. So I know that I can get through those things, and I know that if I continue to do what I've been taught to do, and at every possible chance that I have to reach out to a newcomer or to try to help someone else, either in this program or outside, my sponsor and I, we joke around, that we're to fit ourselves to be of maximum service, and I think that's it. I mean, it's both to God and our fellows, and it's not so much just everyone here. If we can help someone, and pretty much just do the next right thing. So I really wish I had more to say, but I know we got some anniversaries tonight, and or at least I know we have one. But yeah, still just one. But if I had anything to say to the newcomers, if you don't get this the first time, keep coming back. With me, it planted a seed. I knew where the solution was. I just had to be willing to do the work. And, if you don't know it already, for me, the work I had to do was on myself. I mean, I had to look and see what made me tick. And if I could figure that out, then maybe I could get along with everybody else. And, I got a lot of friends here tonight, and I really appreciate your patience listening to me. So with that, thank you.